I think the third goal he scored was a fluke where it got deflected immediately. And like Colin Wynn tried batting it or heading it away because like fell behind him and went in the net like that. I feel like Cedar Rapids did enough to keep the game close. But I really don't feel like the Phantoms, I feel like it was in their control the whole entire game. I'm sure Coach Ward will disagree with the fact they were up gave up 3 straight goals in the game, but they had a pretty good effort.
But speaking of Colin Wynn, nice little streak he's on right now. The last 5 games that he's been the goaltender of record, he's 4-0-1. No, just I thought I'd throw that little stat out there. Where Colin's going to be on a little later in the show. Thought I'd start pumping his tires now.
He does not need that, really.
No. Again, you talk about the penalties in this game. Only 1 in the first period, 13 in the second, 5 more in the third. 19 penalties in this game. You talk about what a typical Youngstown Cedar Rapids game is, but at the same time, it almost didn't feel. It just. And I said this before we started recording, it almost felt like there was like the physicality that Cedar Rapids was showing. There wasn't much purpose to it.
No, I agree. I think it's years past they did that with some goons. I don't want to say goons and put it in a bad light, but Cedar Rapids always had some pretty big boys out there playing. So they played an enforceful physical game where it added a lot to the game. And I agree with you though, Sam. There was a lot of physicality from them. I just don't think, like you said, I don't think it impacted defensively, offensively. It was just more like off the puck stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so we move to the game on Saturday. This was a 5-2 loss for the Phantoms once again. Cedar Rapids picking up 3 goals in the first, 2 of those by former Phantom Jack Larrigan. I think I saw somebody make the comment about the whole sticking it to his former team. That was like 3 seasons ago. I would hope he's not harboring resentment for a trade from like a few years ago. So
no, I mean, but we always kind of liked him. Great family. So not saying I wasn't shouting at the TV some things about the situation, but good for him.
Yeah, in that first period, Zach Morin getting the lone goal for the Phantoms in that period, his 4th of the season. So Phantoms down 3-1, just kind of a flip of the script of the night before. Both teams trade goals in the second period. Kuzma Voronin picks up his 3rd of the season after coming back from a 2-game suspension. So welcome back, Kuzma. And then Cedar Rapids gets the empty netter in the 3rd period for the 5-2 final. And then this game, compared to Friday, a lot more tame. Friday game, second period, 13 penalties were called. This game, 13 penalties, total the entire game. Now, the Phantoms penalty kill.
Yes, I was getting ready to talk about that.
Yeah, that was that. And again, you're talking about, lines getting flipped around, guys coming in and filling in spots. Those are the kind of things you're going to expect. This was a game that, when it was all said and done, the penalty kill didn't do him any favors.
No, 3 for 9. That's not, 66% is not going to be doing you pretty well. Will not be doing you any favors there. Especially beginning of the year, how good our penalty kill was. But I agree, Sam. I do think the new faces on the penalty kill was a big reason as to why they were 3 for 9 on the weekend. I'm really glad to see Zach Morin get a goal in this game. He's been working real hard. He gets a lot of shots on net. He's been real close several times in games leading up to this, trying to almost getting goals. I'm glad he was in the right spot at the right time. I forget who took the shot that the goalie deflected out right on his stick, and he did a heck of a job putting that puck on net. And
I want to say, was that McLaughlin?
I don't remember who it was.
Shot from the point. Was that McLaughlin?
That sounds right.
And then Kuzma's goal. That was a good goal. It was a coast to coast one. He brought it in. He made a good move, and he slaughtered it home. So those are the 2 more bright spots from my end of the game. But
I mean, all in all, it wasn't the worst game we've played. So I mean, you take a loss.
Yeah, it seemed like it was a little bit of an emotional letdown from the game before. They didn't seem like they had as much energy when the game started as they did on Friday night.
And if anybody wonders what the fact checking is like on this show, that sounds right is pretty much what we aim for.
If it's anything egregious, we'll fix it.
I don't have the play pulled up in front of me.
Yeah. So. All right. So with that, it is now time for the Dump and Chase podcast 3 stars of the week. Kicking it off with the 3rd star. And this is somebody who did not show up on the score sheet, but I felt like really stood out in other ways and maybe defensively had the best weekend that I think we've seen from him so far. That is Ryan Rusinski. anybody you talk to about him, they talk about he's a 200-foot player. He's as good offensively as he is defensively, more of a depth guy this year. Maybe he breaks it out by the end, maybe he breaks out by the end of this season. If not, definitely looking for a big year from him next year. But just kind of defensively, getting his stick in passing lanes, just overall disruption in the defensive zone. To me, even the game on Saturday where things were not going the Phantoms' way, I think he was somebody that really stood out defensively for me, coming from a forward, really stood out defensively for me this weekend.
Yeah, a lot of what he does as a player doesn't show up on a stat sheet, but it's noticeable. And I know his teammates love his game as well.
Yeah, and with the amount of ice time that was available this weekend, I think he was the one who took the most advantage of what he had.
And that brings us to our second star of the week, and that's Evan Jardine. He had 2 assists in his
his NHL debut.
Yeah.
Boy, did he have a weekend.
He had 2 assists on his USHL debut. Before he started, I was looking at his stats, and last year at Little Caesars, he had in 81 games played, he put up 137 points, 47 goals, 90 assists. He looked really good, for being an 07, being one of the younger guys out there as well. I thought he held his own. And look good. Can't wait to see him going forward again.
Okay. First star of the week, Braden Clark. It's almost like we were talking about him last week or the week before, the same way of Rusinski. And, we haven't talked about him much, but, he's putting together a really great effort. 2 goals on Friday, big goals. And I think he's steadily progressing. And with the players out this weekend, I think he's really put together his A game.
Yeah, he's somebody who played some games with the Phantoms last year. You could see that the tools were there. It's just a matter of getting the experience, putting it together. And now the more and more experience he's getting this season, you're really starting to see him kind of take that step to the next level. And I think especially his play over the last month or so, it's been very, very noticeable.
Yeah, I feel last year when he'd be playing, I always thought about the big hits he made on the ice. Now I'm thinking about all the big plays he makes all the time.
And taking face-offs and, every little aspect of the game here.
All right, so that will do it for the weekend recap. So we're going to step aside for a minute with this week's edition of Phantoms Files coming up with goaltender Colin Wynn right here on the Dump and Chase podcast on Western Reserve Radio.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all got to see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
The Mahoning Valley's leader for golf, Milk Creek Golf Course, is now booking tee times for 2024. We offer stay and play opportunities available with 9 area hotel partners. For more information, visit our website at millcreekmetroparks.org. Also, look for new, exciting opportunities coming soon, including an indoor player development center with Trackman, an indoor Callaway Club Fitting Center, and an Odyssey Fitting Studio in 2024. Follow us on Facebook at Milk Creek Golf Course or call 330-740-7112.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
This is Everett Fitzhugh, the radio voice of the NHL Seattle Kraken, and you're listening to the home of the Youngstown Phantoms, Western Reserve Radio.
And welcome back to the Dump and Chase podcast on the home of Phantoms Hockey, Western Reserve Radio. So for this week's edition of Phantom Files, we are excited to welcome back to the show the pride of Westford, Massachusetts, goaltender number 1, Colin Wynn. Colin, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
So right off the bat, you got a little bit of a hot streak going on. We talked about in the last segment, your last 5 games where you're the goalie of record, 4-0-1. So congratulations there. We kind of asked you this. We kind of asked you a version of this question at main camp, but now that you're coming into the halfway point of the season, to you being out on the ice, what's been the biggest difference for you this season compared to last year?
I don't know if there's much of a difference. I'd say we have a very good team again, which is awesome. I think the young guys coming up, since we've kind of been shorthanded a little bit for a bit, I think the young guys are stepping up huge right now, which is great for the team. And I think that's one of the biggest parts of why we're having so much success right now. It's just guys are just finding a way to step up and help the team the best that they can.
So what are you thinking about some of the new guys coming in when you're talking about Zach Moran, Sasha? Some of the younger, obviously the younger guys coming in. Last year you were the rookie, maybe not as young as these guys were, but you were coming in as the rookie this year. Now this year you're the grizzled veteran. And you got all these, just pink cheek kids coming in. How's that been for you this year?
It's been great. It kind of feels weird. I feel like a big brother almost to some of these guys, and I actually think it's incredible that they're so high-end skill and they're so talented, and then you're like, wait a second, you're 16, you're 17 years old. It's crazy sometimes, but I love it. I mean, they're great kids and they're really good hockey players. So
I know Dan will want to ask this question. I'll ask him for it and get him in here. What was the inspiration for the matte black mask?
So we have our black jerseys, and I was talking to our equipment manager Smitty at main camp. I was like, dude, what do you think? Should I get a black helmet and then just switch helmets off? And he's like, yeah, you should definitely get a helmet. And then I saw Bart's matte maroon helmet, and I was like, all right, maybe I should go matte black here. That'd be pretty sick. So Smitty and I both agreed on it. All right, let's do it. And then we figured out a design at main camp.
Yeah, that first game, we saw you on the bench with it, and I couldn't tell what it was. And then I think before the second game, in that area between the two rinks, I saw there was a perfect viewing window. I saw your mask on there. I thought it was pretty sick then.
Yeah, the guy who did a shell shock did a really good job.
Do you use the same guy for all of them?
No, so this was my first helmet with shell shock.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, speaking of helmets, and now I'm completely drawing a blank. You gave up your lid to somebody. Who was it now?
It was Pittner.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now he claims he kept that helmet. Was that true?
I think he did.
And he also claimed you have a pretty big head. Is that also true? Or
yeah, that's very true.
he said when he said once his broke and he put yours on, he said he had to tighten it up a little bit.
Yeah,
because of the hair.
I'm pretty sure he kept that helmet though. Honestly.
Yeah, I looked when he went over and got it off the bench and went back. I'm like, if he scores a goal with that helmet, he's keeping it.
Yeah.
And yep.
Did he say anything to you when he came back to the bench?
He said that was my primary apple. I got an assist. I was all right. That's all right.
Speaking of which, if you're going to get your first assist in the USHL, you picked a pretty unique way of doing it. Clearing the puck around the boards, going straight to Gunny, who took it in. So you get the primary on that one. But that was a pretty unique way of getting your first assist.
Yeah, I didn't even know I got that assist until Lipper texted me after the game. I thought it was since the Muskegon guy, I thought the Muskegon guy had possession, but I guess not.
Well, we didn't see it on TV, so
yeah.
So I mean, is a goalie goal next? It seems to be the season for it right now.
Yeah, that's kind of the dream. That'd be incredible.
Do you have a celly prepared, or is it just going to be in the heat of the moment?
It'll just be the heat of the moment, I think. Yeah. I don't know if I'll be going for those anytime soon. That'd be perfect timing.
Well, I know a couple seasons ago we talked to Kyle Chevette, and he talked about he'd go for it, but it would have to be like an empty net up 2 goals.
Yeah, basically up 2 goals, dumped on net, flat puck. Like it's got to be like perfect.
So there's a little bit of your history I wanted to bring up because I don't remember if I knew this before and I just forgot it, or I was actually reminded of it by someone very close to you, your mom, that back here when you were at Selects Academy 15U, your head coach was Ryan Ward.
Yeah, sure was.
So, like, I mean, after all these years, just, I mean, how's that relationship with him? I mean, going back, when you find out that you two have gone back that far.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, him and I are really close, especially like he met me when I was 15 years old. And I think when I was 15 years old, I probably spent more time at his house than I did at school, which is probably not great to say, but, but I mean, yeah, him and I have grown really close over the year. And then last year or 2 years ago during the phase 2 draft, he gave me a call and I was like, he asked me if I wanted to come to Youngstown. I was like, absolutely, especially since you'll be coaching there. So him and I are pretty close, especially since going way back.
Now, being in the NCDC and knowing that not a lot of goalies are taken in the draft, I mean, did that kind of surprise you, or did you think just, with Ward being there, it was a possibility?
So I didn't know he was going to be the head coach until like that phase 2 day. He was like, yeah, I'm the head coach of Youngstown now. And I was like, what? Like, awesome. Congrats. I thought he was calling me just to like tell me he was the head coach. I was like, oh, that's awesome. Congrats, man. Like, it's huge. And he's like, no, that's not why I'm calling. Like, you want to come to Youngstown? I was like, yeah, sounds good.
Did you even have a clue where Youngstown was?
Yeah, he told me in the phone call. He said it's in Ohio. I was like, all right. Let's do it.
Ohio? How did I get here?
All right. So when you're, not on the ice, when you're not at the rink, I mean, what is it you do to unwind? I mean, now or in the past, like, have you played other sports, or was it always hockey, or?
When I was younger, I played baseball during the summers, and then, now I don't play, but I'll play golf in the summers and stuff like that. Big time reader, which is probably surprising to hear, but but yeah, I just hang out with the billets, hang out with my roommate and sometimes the guys, and just wait for practice the next day.
What do you like to read?
I like to read a lot of like psychology books, stuff like that.
Oh, you're deep.
Yeah. You got to be when you're a goalie.
Psychology is part of the position.
It is, yeah, it is.
Say, when you were growing up, who was your favorite goalie, and who'd you like to try to base your game off of?
My favorite goalie growing up was probably like Tim Thomas, Tuukka Rask, just because they were Boston guys. But Carey Price was also a guy I like to watch. Now it's probably like Jordan Binnington or Georgiev on the Avalanche. I mean, there's so many guys you can look at, like Demko, Shesterkin. I mean, there's a lot of guys in the league that I watch right now just to learn from.
What about Fowler? Is he on that list?
Oh yeah, he's up there. He might be number one.
How did he feel about you taking his number when he left?
He was fine with it. He gave me a few jokes, a few chirps, but he was fine with it.
Branch down a little bit more, like music wise. Like, I mean, I know from the training video last year, you seem to be a big Adele fan. What else are you listening to?
I listen to a lot of country. Sometimes I'll listen to like jazz before games just to get mellowed out. Big Adele fan. Shout out Chase Patilla for Adele. Him and I used to sing it a lot. Who else do I listen to a lot? A little bit of Coldplay here and there. I don't know. I'm pretty open.
So you're a Boston area kid. I didn't hear like Dropkick Murphys. I didn't hear Aerosmith in that.
Oh no. I mean, they're in there too, but it's got to be the right time. It's got to be the right vibe for that.
Dropkick Murphys are actually coming here in March.
Really?
Yeah, they're going to be in Warren.
Oh. Go.
All right. What are you streaming right now?
I'm watching Suits currently. It's pretty good. That's kind of like the big time show at the moment. I watch a ton of movies on the road. I'll toss a movie on for my pregame nap and then go from there.
Are you a gamer at all?
No, I used to be. I try to stay away, because if not, I'll be up way too late playing video games.
Rot your brain. That's why I don't have one left.
Yeah, I mean, I'll play like Shell with the fellas if I go hang out with them, but that's about it.
No, I'm not sure we've ever asked a player this before, so you'll be the guinea pig. Yeah, you'll be the guinea pig here. When you got these long road trips out to Iowa, Nebraska, wherever, what's kind of like your routine on the bus when you're on the bus for an extended period of time?
Also, like the sleeper bus, like you basically just get on, hang out for like an hour, and then you go to sleep. You wake up, you're in Iowa or Madison or Green Bay or something like that. You get breakfast. You go to the rink, you practice, and then you basically have from noon to dinner time off. So you basically just either take a long nap, watch movies. Sometimes there's hot tubs at the hotels, so the guys will go there, which is nice. But like the road trips to like Chicago, where you take like the coach bus into like USA Muskegon, we'll practice here and then get on the coach bus, get there for like 7:00. But we'll normally just all watch movies on the bus or read our books or sometimes play cards or basically just anything to pass the time.
Now, it's something we talk about on here all the time, but none of us really have any experience to pretend that we're experts on it. Are bus legs a thing?
Yes and no. I mean, you're definitely stiff, but you can get rid of them pretty quickly. Go for a jog around the rink and you're good.
So what is it like when you guys are taking that trip all the way up to Fargo?
Oh, that's a tough one. Yeah.
I mean, you guys seem to manage, so.
Yeah, I mean, luckily we got there the day before, so we got to practice in and stuff like that. Like we had 24 hours before our game, which was unreal. So I think that practice, you just kind of get the legs going and get the mind right and make sure the body's feeling okay for the next day.
I got a question for you here, off topic. Are you a fan of pizza or anything like that?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Our area is pretty much, we call ourselves pretty good at making pizza in this area.
Mm-hmm.
How's it compared to where you're from?
I don't know. I don't know if it does compare. There's this place in Boston, Regina's Pizza, which is like my spot to go. It's a big chain, but it's unreal. But the pizza here is pretty good. I've had Uptown. I think is that what it's called? I've had Uptown. I just had Plaza Pizza the other day in Hermitage.
Okay, never had that.
There's one more that's big around here that I had.
Yeah, Wedgwood's right by me. That's my favorite.
Yeah, I've had Wedgwood. That's what it was. So I've had those three. They're pretty good. I will say they're good though.
Are you a thin crust or like Chicago style?
Thin crust.
Okay.
On the flip side, like what USHL city have you been in that's like the worst food?
The worst food? I don't know. We get fed pretty good on the road. I mean, I can't complain. I would say, I don't know. We get fed really good. Like the hotels make the food, so it's like the Marriott's making the food, so you can't complain with it. It's just chicken pasta. I would say the best breakfast is in Green Bay. Make your own omelets. That's huge.
Does the cheese taste different up there?
No. That
is it weird when they grate it off their head?
Yeah. That hotel's right next to Lambeau. So we go and we'll hang out at Lambeau for a few hours, which is pretty cool.
Now, I know that chicken parm is one of your favorites just because I remember doing several interviews with guys towards the end of last season, and you and Chase would always park yourselves right behind me.
Oh, yeah.
And be the audience while that interview was going on. So I know that was one of your favorites.
Yeah, it's I don't know where they get it from. It's in Youngstown somewhere, but it's this chicken parm. It's so good.
All right. So the last thing we wanted to talk to you about, and this is kind of a Christmas present for Justin, because this is one of his favorite hockey stories of all time. You guys just came back from the, not just came back, but from the American Cup up in Rochester, the former Bill Gray's Iceplex. Of course, the story there, the Zamboni that caught fire on the ice. And then the driver actually drove it off the ice. Come to find out, you were actually there. I mean, this is a story we bring up every year when the American Cup comes around, and then come to find out that you were actually there when that happened.
Yeah, so at BK we practiced at Rochester Ice Center, And there was something going on there. So we went to Bill Gray's for practice. And we were like, what is going on? Normal day of practice. And we had these like buses, and it was like the Apple CarPlay. You connect your phone to it. So we're all like playing music in the minivan from our coach's phone. And we get a call from our other coach. So of course we answered it. And he's like, what's going on? He goes, yeah, there's a flaming Zamboni on rink 3. And we're like, what? We're all like, what is this? We all thought he was messing with us until like a few hours later on like Spit and Chicklets, there's like a video of like the Zamboni on fire driving off the ice. And we're like, no way that's real. It was actually insane. I think the girls program were there when it happened. Like, I'm pretty sure they were on the ice when it happened, which is crazy.
Yeah. And the driver drove it off. And
yeah, that video is one of the craziest videos ever.
Yeah. I mean, you can ask Sam when they first announced the Americans Cup was going to be there, 3 years ago now?
Yeah.
That was like, I'm like, Bill Gray's. This name sounds familiar.
Because it happened the year before. So it was 2021 it happened, I think.
2019, I think.
Somewhere in that time span.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that year I was at BK, and that's when it happened. It was crazy.
All right, so Justin, Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Always one of my favorites.
Yeah.
All right, Colin, before you get out of here, do you want to give any shout outs to family, billets, teammates that you are happy with right now? Anything like that?
I mean, I'm happy with all the fellas right now. Probably shout out to my billets putting up with me for 2 years. It's been a long time for them. Of course, my mom probably listens, so shout out to her. I'll see her. She'll be in Youngstown this weekend, so that should be good.
All righty. Well, Colin, thank you so much for coming on. It's always a blast talking to you. Hopefully we'll get you 1 or 2 more times here before the season's over.
Yeah.
Well, at this rate, we might as well just give you your own segment. All right, so that will do it for this week's edition of Phantom Files. We're going to step away for a minute, and the weekend preview is coming up next. So keep it here with the Dump and Chase podcast on Western Reserve Radio.
WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. Take 1.
Behold the angry giant.
Try it again, Alberto.
Behold the angry giant.
Perfect. Good luck tonight.
Behold the angry giant.
Yay! Read me another one, Dad.
This is WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Hey, let me ask you something. Would you seat your 3-year-old child on a windowsill? Would you seat them beside a lit fireplace or by the deep end of a pool? One last question. Would you seat your child in a car seat that's not correct for them? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Secure their future. Seat them in the correct car seat. For more information, visit safercar.gov/the right seat. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This is Voice of the Phantoms and friend of the show, Matt Lipsack, and you are listening to the Dump and Chase podcast on Western Reserve Radio.
Welcome back to the Dump and Chase podcast on the home of the Phantoms, Western Reserve Radio. So looking ahead to this weekend's games, we'll start out with the Eastern Conference and actually going to have 4 days worth of Eastern Conference games coming up. Starting off on Wednesday, Chicago will travel to Plymouth to take on the U18s. That game starts at 10:30 in the morning, so that must be like a school day game or something to that effect. And then for Chicago, this will be the first of 3 road games they will be playing this weekend. Thursday, Sioux City will be traveling to Dubuque. Dubuque, this is the first of a 3-game weekend for them. All 3 games will take place in different locations. And then moving to Friday, Chicago travels to Muskegon. That will be game 1 of 2 of that series. And Dubuque travels to Cedar Rapids. And then on Saturday, Dubuque will go from Cedar Rapids up to Green Bay. Chicago at Muskegon, second game of that series. And Cedar Rapids heads to Madison. So that leads us to the Phantoms games this weekend. 2 games with the NTDP U18 squad. This will be a home-and-home series. The game on Friday taking place in Youngstown, and the game on Saturday taking place up in Plymouth. So as far as the U18s, this will be the first and only meetings of the season between these 2 squads. So looking back to last year when the U18s were the U17s, last season Youngstown went 6-2 against this squad. But again, as we've pointed out time and time again over the years, there's a big difference between the U17s and then when they move up to the U18s.
We don't see them a lot this season, but this is, I think, our only meeting.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how this goes, especially, like we said, with the players that have been out of the lineup. Fingers crossed, but I think we can, pull some points out of this.
Yeah, I did not realize that this is the U18s have 3 and 4, 3 games in 4 days this weekend. Quite a few of these players here on the 18s, they played on the 18 teams last year as well. So like Cole Iserman, projected number 2 overall pick, played with the U18s last year. I think so did James Higgins.
Yeah, so U18s coming into this weekend, and this is kind of the pain in the butt thing with the NTDP and stats and everything else. As far as the USHL is concerned, they combine all of their numbers. If you look at the NTDP's website, as we found out when the season started, they count everything towards their stats, including preseason games.
Surprise practice goals aren't in there as well.
Yeah. These exhibition games that they play, these tournaments, and then again, as we found out, preseason games, preseason USHL games, they count all those towards their stat totals. If you go to the show's website, dumpandchasepod.com, there is a section where I have the spreadsheets for all the teams in the Eastern Conference, where the 18s and the 17s are tracked separately. So that's the only way I know any of this information. As of recording, because again, the U18s playing that game on Wednesday morning. So as of this recording, the U18s this season, they are 7-2 in 9 USHL games. Currently, they have 14 of the NTDP's total of 18 points between the U18s and the U17s. Overall, the NTDP is sitting 7th in the Eastern Conference. Youngstown coming into the weekend with a record of 15-6-2. That is good for 32 points and currently 3rd in the Eastern Conference. But then we get into games in hand with Dubuque and Green Bay above us. So see how that shakes out this weekend. The U18s averaging 5.3 goals per game. Again, these are all just USHL games, and they are giving up 3.2 goals per game. Their power play at 24.3%. Their penalty kill at 87.2%. And it's hard to say. Again, this is a team that can put up a ton of goals. They haven't had, the 18s over the past few seasons haven't had a ton of success putting up a ton of goals against us. So certainly between the combination of Owen Bartoskevich and Colin Wynn, you hope the Phantoms are able to keep those numbers down this weekend. It's a very easy statement to make. If you're going to let them score 7-8 goals in a game, you're not going to win.
No, and I mean, without some key players on defense in the lineup, other players will have to step up. I think we saw a little bit of that last weekend, especially with the U18s playing multiple games this week, 3 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we have enough in the tank and can ride it out, and then we get a long break.
I'm really excited to finally see I'll be at one game. Finally get to see a home game again. Get to see the Phantoms play in person instead of watching over Flow Hockey. But like I said earlier, I alluded to, they're a very talented team. Like I said, they have Cole Iserman, who's just a goal scorer. He doesn't have much defense to his game. I was told that's why he didn't make the World Junior U20 team that Higgins made. because Higgins has more of like a defensive aspect to his offensive game as well. But Cole Eiserman's projected number 2 overall pick, 2-3. They got James Higgins on that team, Teddy Stiga. At the very most, I mean, I hope the fans come out and play well. I hope they come out and win. You get to see some good hockey, though. I know that's for sure.
You will see some future draft picks, that's for sure.
on both sides of the benches there.
And like we said, this will be the only time this season the Phantoms see the U18s. Certainly some of the younger guys on this Phantom team, they're going to get an education this weekend. I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying, there is a lot of elite level players, on this U18 roster. They're going to get an education, playing these games.
Some of the older players might get an education. You think you know these guys from last year.
Yeah. All right, so the game on Friday at the Covelli Center, that will be a 7:05 puck drop. The Phantoms will be wearing special Christmas themed jerseys, and those jerseys will be auctioned off after the game. The game will be available on Western Reserve Radio. We'll be streaming on the Phantoms Facebook page, and of course, the game will stream. The actual game video itself will stream on Flow Sports with voice of the Phantoms and friend of the show, Matt Lipsack, on the mic. Now, of course, we prefer it if you actually show up to these games. So, of course, make sure you can call the Phantoms box office for tickets at 330-747-PUCK. That is 330-747-7825. Or you can go to youngstownphantoms.com for ticket information. The game on Saturday, taking place up in Plymouth. That is a 7 p.m. puck drop. The game will be available on the NTDP website. I haven't had too much luck with that this season, so hopefully we get it figured out for Saturday. I know there's something you have to sign up for now. I know I tried it before and didn't have much luck with it, but we'll see how it goes. So, gentlemen, before we get out of this, just kind of any final thoughts on what the Phantoms have coming up this week?
This will be a real big test this weekend. Both these games, I think that the U.S. having played 3 games this weekend is going to go in our favor a little bit. But I'd like to see, again, these young players have been stepping up in spots for us. Hope they continue to step up. And looking forward to seeing everybody there.
I mean, if we can come out of this with some points, I'm happy. But the way things have gone for the season, we're doing really good. I think if we get out of this weekend healthy and no major suspensions, anything like that, still kids wearing face cages and tend to make us do dumb things. But as long as we can get out of this weekend without losing anybody that we already have, we've got a holiday break, and I think the schedule gets better in the new year. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, if I could have picked one weekend to not have us missing all these players for the World Select team, this would have been the weekend here. Not that you'd ever want it to be. And I'm very happy for the players who got selected that are going to play in that. But of course, we play the 18s one weekend this year, and it's this weekend.
We're still not even to the technical halfway point of the season. One weekend isn't going to make us or break us. Like you said, with various players missing off the roster. I think at best you can hope for a good showing, but if the Phantoms can pull it out this weekend, that's some crow I'll very happily enjoy eating.
Yeah.
Orange crow?
No.
Sorry.
Anyway.
All right, gentlemen. So I think we've bothered these nice people long enough. So let's step aside for one more break. And on the other side, we'll wrap up this episode and look ahead to next week. So keep it here one more time with the Dump and Chase podcast on Western Reserve Radio.
Mahoning Valley's leader for golf, Milk Creek Golf Course is now booking tee times for 2024. We offer stay and play opportunities available with 9 area hotel partners. For more information, visit our website at millcreekmetroparks.org. Also, look for new, exciting opportunities coming soon, including an indoor player development center with Trackman, an indoor Callaway club fitting center, and an Odyssey fitting studio in 2024. Follow us on Facebook at Milk Creek Golf Course or call 330-740-7112.
Western Reserve Radio is the Valley's online source for sports talk and local live events. Tune in and be a part of their live weekly shows, as well as all of the hard-hitting action of Youngstown Phantoms hockey, high school football, and the GDFL. Find them at westernreserveradio.com. Tune in and the Live 365 app to be a part of the area's sports conversation. Be sure to visit them on Facebook at Western Reserve Radio and on Twitter at WR_radio.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
You're listening to Western Reserve Radio at westernreserveradio.com on the Live 365 network and the Live 365 app.
We're back, and that will do it for this episode of the Dump and Chase podcast. A big thank you to all of you for listening along this week, and a big thanks to Colin Wynn for stopping by the show. So next week's episode, of course, we will be recapping the 2-game weekend with the U18s, and we will be looking ahead to pretty much the second half of the season, because this will be it for the Phantoms for the holiday break before they come back at the end of the month. And then next week's segment of Phantom Files, we will be welcoming someone to the show, never been on the show before. I guess long overdue at this point. I know this is one Justin's going to be happy about. We will be welcoming the longtime Phantoms official scorekeeper, Lynn Siegford, to the show. Basically anything to do with the Phantoms on Cadvelli Center Ice, she has witnessed it.
And recorded it.
Yeah. Really looking forward to having Lynn on the show next week. So as always, you can hear this show every Wednesday at 5 p.m. on Western Reserve Radio, either on westernreserveradio.com, the Live 365 or TuneIn apps, the Western Reserve Radio Facebook and Twitter pages, and the Youngstown Phantoms Facebook page. You can listen to this show in its podcast format if you're not already on Apple, Spotify, Google for a little bit longer. I think we're coming down to the death blow for Google Podcasts before it all jumps over to YouTube.
Yeah, I think I linked you that. They finally set a date of April.
Yeah, you can get podcasts on YouTube now. They just haven't transferred over subscriptions yet. So I can't really do anything with that without searching for everything all over again. Or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, if it's not any of those. Be sure to check us out on social media and follow our accounts on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And, of course, the official website of the show, that is dumpandchasepod.com. So, gentlemen, before we get out of here, any final words of wisdom?
I just hope to see everybody at the Cadvelli Center Friday.
Dan said what I was thinking.
Yeah, because we're talking about this game. Games with Omaha at the beginning of January, and then they're gone again until the end of January. And then and then we get into February. We're all gonna see each other so much we're gonna be completely sick of each other.
I'll take it. Going down the stretch, I think this benefits us.
I agree.
All right. So as the Zamboni glides over the ice, smoothing out the game, we want to wish all of you a slap shot of joy this festive season. May your holidays be filled with the warmth of a well-executed power play and the excitement of an overtime victory. Don't forget to check out our next episode where we unwrap more thrilling hockey tales. Until then, skate through the season with passion, share a love for the game, and have a happy hockey holiday.
Well done.
That's beautiful.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
You're listening to WRDB, Western Reserve Digital Broadcasting, Youngstown, Warren, Salem, and around the world.
Progressive presents the Sports Flash on Western Reserve Radio.
The Cavaliers have dropped 2 in a row tonight. They visit the Celtics. Won't be an easy one. Boston, the best team in the league, 17-5 on top of the Eastern Conference. They're 11-0 at home this season. Winners in 2 straight and 7 of 10 overall. The Cavaliers are 13-11. NHL last night in the shootout. The Penguins beat the Canadiens 4-3. Down 3-1 after the first. The Pens scored twice in the second period. Sidney Crosby had 2 goals and an assist. Jansen Harkins scored in the 12th round of the shootout to win it. College football bowl action this Saturday, 9-3 Ohio battles 6-6 Georgia Southern in the Myrtle Beach Bowl. At the Cure Bowl in Orlando, it'll be Miami of Ohio, 11-2 against 8-5 Appalachian State. Looking ahead to December the 29th at the Cotton Bowl Classic, number 7 Ohio State squares off with number 9 Missouri. For lightning fast updates, download the Score app. It's free and one of North America's most popular sports apps. That's the Sports Flash. Chuck Sanders, Western Reserve Radio.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more Straight Talk. Let's take a moment to appreciate our sweet children, loving grandparents, and eternal soulmates. Now let's use them to save money on wireless. Because with the Straight Talk Silver Plan, you get 4 lines for just $25 a month with unlimited data and no contracts. So add those human pawns, loved ones, and save money. Thanks, kids. You're finally worth it. Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart.
Get 4 lines on Silver Unlimited for $25 per line per month, plus taxes and fees. For data management practices and additional terms, visit straighttalk.com.
Staples and HP want you to have a happy Holla deal. That's right, Holla deal. Now during Staples Holla deals, you can save up to $115 on the HP Smart Tank 6001 all-in-one printer with up to 2 years of original HP ink right in the box. Plus, find savings of up to 40% on select HP computers and monitors. Happy Holla deals from Staples and HP, America's most trusted printer brand. Smart Tank offer ends 12/23. HP Tech offers end 1/6/24. Visit staples.com/HP for detail.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all got to see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. Take 1.
Behold the angry giant.
Try it again, Alberto.
Behold the angry giant.
Perfect. Good luck tonight.
Behold the angry giant.
Yay! Read me another one, Dad.
This is WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied bullied online, you can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Miss an episode of By All Means, and you can miss a lot.
To the radio play-by-play voice at our buddy back from here at Youngstown, it is the voice Fitz. Everett Fitzhugh, my friend, how are you?
Man, it feels good to hear your voice again, Mark. Everything's going well, and definitely excited to be back on the airwaves briefly for here in Youngstown.
By All Means, Tuesdays at 5, right here on Western Reserve Radio and streaming live on westernreserveradio.com.
This is Matt Lipsack, the voice of the Youngstown Phantoms, and your home for Phantoms hockey is Western Reserve Radio.
Guys hit 3.5 at one point. So I think that was kind of the spot. So yes, once again, about an hour ago, Ian Rappaport reported he and Mike Garafolo that Josh Jacobs officially out for tonight. So Zamir White is now expected to be the starter for the Las Vegas Raiders. I don't know how you play over. Like last week, I talked myself in the over. It was not a very.
You didn't talk yourself in anything. You talked yourself into betting.
That's a good point.
That's what you did.
That's what I did, and I won that bet that I talked myself into. You got to look under. I would say this. I'm curious about what to expect from Easton Stick because, yes, he has not played a regular season game before. This will be his first career start. He's been in that system now for a couple of years. Now, it's a new system this year, but he's been thought highly enough there in Los Angeles to be the backup. So clearly. But maybe it's a Chase Daniel situation where we're like, maybe he's good. And then he played, you're like, oh, he's not good. So I don't know. I would, if I had to rank the plays, it would be, I think I would lean with you, Chargers plus the 3. Yeah. Then I would probably look under. That would be the pecking order for tonight.
In college, and granted it was Division II, he was a very mobile quarterback. Mm-hmm. He ran the ball as well as throwing the ball at North Dakota State. They won all 4 years he was there. They won the title. So I just have to think there's more upside here. Is Staley coaching for his job?
Yeah.
I think the intangibles are with the Chargers in this spot.
By the way, speaking of that total, it's actually ticked up a little bit. It's sitting 35 now, pretty much across the board. Here at Circa, it looks like you guys touched 35.5. It was 35.5 when I walked in the studio. That got gobbled up. So now 35 is pretty much across the board.
I think I'm going to wait. Mm-hmm. Let's wait 20 minutes and hear what Brad Evans' take on the game is, because his approach to the prop market often leads you to sides and totals.
Yeah, no doubt. Brad is ready to fire, and we'll see what he is ready to cook up here tonight with some same game parlays. And
his North Dakota State basketball play won as well. Remember he threw that
never in doubt.
Threw that in last week on the end.
See if he's betting. It's not a robust college basketball slate. It's finals week, so maybe he's got some thoughts on St. Thomas against Marquette tonight. The old Tommies and the Golden Eagles.
How about UNLV last night? Ooh. I just saw a final because I was at Fontainebleau. I checked. I said, "Is this real?" I refreshed my phone.
Crushed them. I mean, last night in college basketball, just to take a quick aside. So you had the UNLV situation down at Dollar Loan Center. It's a new arena here in Vegas. It's actually in Henderson, my neck of the woods. And then how about Chicago State beating the Fighting Brent Musburgers as a 24.5-point underdog? I believe only a handful of shops even offered a money line.
How much a price do you have to lay for Purdue to win the Big Ten? I mean, look at this Big Ten. They're going to walk through this thing. They won it by 3 games last.
Michigan State is going to complete
I watched that
disaster.
game against Nebraska Saturday. They were awful.
Yeah,
Iowa's gotten blown out 3 in a row. Illinois blown out. I mean, where's the resistance there?
Yeah,
Wisconsin got housed early by Arizona. I know it's a tough place to play.
Wisconsin's a Jekyll and Hyde type of squad because they beat Marquette, who looks the part, and then that was a tricky spot to go on the road to Arizona. But Purdue went up to Canada, and played a slugfest against Alabama. Got the win. I think got the cover. Won by 6 in that game. But Chicago State, the transitive properties out there right now that are being ratcheted up because Northwestern beat Purdue.
Yep.
Purdue loses to or Northwestern loses to Chicago State, and Chicago State is, let's just say, not the ideal Division I program there.
I remember at the time of COVID was first happening, and Amal and I filled in for Mitch and Paul. And the Chicago State team decided not to make the trip to the WAC tournament or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And I started looking like they had won like 3 games in 5 years. I mean, I couldn't believe how bad and futile this team was. But they were like, we have no chance to win. It's bad. We're not even going to go to the tournament. That was the story. And so I researched it for no hyperbole.
I didn't expect to go down this rabbit hole, but
that's all right. Raiders, Chargers.
Chicago State Cougars lost on Sunday to St. Thomas by 16.
St. Thomas in action tonight, you were mentioning?
Yes, against Marquette. Catching 24.5 are the Tommies over there. I believe Adam Burke wrote up and said take a little nibble on the Tommies.
Burke needs to focus. Adam Burke needs to focus on what's important right now.
Yeah, we hit on it yesterday. Brad Evans going to come up here in just a little bit. I would say of the 13 remaining, pretty safe to say nobody's taking the Raiders tonight?
Nobody.
Yeah. It's going to be fascinating.
I asked Michael Lombardi today. Mm-hmm. I gave him the binary choice. You're sitting there and you have New Orleans and Atlanta available this week in Survivor. Who are you taking? He said it's very clear I would take New Orleans. He said go back and look at the advanced stats on the first matchup between Carolina and Atlanta. It's a very false tale, the final score. That was a much closer game than the score indicated.
And I thought the point that you made yesterday about, is Carolina just going to whimper its way all the way to the finish?
That's what Stormy said. Are they really going to be 1-16?
And it's not a situation, too. Players don't tank, but the front office, they have no motivation to tank either. They don't have their number 1 pick, so they want to win. So yeah, I do think Carolina. I think that would be a tricky one. I brought it up as an option yesterday for Survivor. I don't think you should do it. I think it's New Orleans. If obviously we talked about 2 have San Francisco,
Rams 7
and Rams. You got to use the Rams if you have them. I'm just saying.
It could be that exact scenario. 7 Rams, 5 New Orleans, and the 1 San Francisco that doesn't need them on Christmas.
That's Mike Palm. I'm Tim Murray. Thursday Night Football, Chargers and Raiders here in town. If you don't want to bet side or total, how about props? Brad Evans, he'll have plenty of those. He'll join us next.
Hottest topics. This time around, the cheating allegations were following 4 Counter-Strike pros. Players Sensei, Throne, Darkside, and Native had faced accusations of either hacking or game fixing in specific situations dating back to 2020. This week, the Esports Integrity Commission took action and has banned the 4 players for the next 2 years. I think I hear the world's tiniest violin.
The latest esports and gaming news. Find it online at checkpointxp.com.
A psoriasis flare-up can make a walk in the park, well, no walk in the park.
It's that obvious, huh? I've tried so many lotions and creams, but I still have symptoms.
So those don't do enough to treat the inflammation beneath the skin, leaving you with those uncontrolled symptoms.
Makes sense, but what else can I do?
You can get real with your dermatologist so they can help you get clear. Make an appointment and, you're already on it.
Hi, yes, I'd like to make an appointment.
Get real clear about psoriasis at letsgetrealclear.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Hey, Doc, nice office. Quick question. If you had to choose, would you give yourself a root canal or run payroll?
Run payroll, no question.
Seriously? Well, have you run payroll before?
Paying my team with Gusto couldn't be easier. Gusto gives me unlimited payroll runs, next-day direct deposits, and automatically files my taxes. Saves me time.
Wow, that's nice.
Over here, Doc. I want payroll too.
Choose payroll without the pain. Visit gusto.com/radio to sign up for free.
I feel like I'm constantly cleaning hair off my bathroom floor. At least my Swiffer Sweeper makes it easy. Sweeper heavy-duty dry cloths have ultra-thick pads to trap and lock hairs, like a hair magnet. And when I'm finished cleaning up my hair, Sweeper takes care of his too. Now the hair is gone. All thanks to Swiffer. Try Swiffer Sweeper heavy-duty dry cloths. I promise you'll love them or your money back. And also try Swiffer Sweeper Wet to make quick work of tough, sticky messes.
The diehards.
I'm a monkey running around. It's tough. They can't control me. You know what I mean? I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot as it is, so it's hard enough to control anyway.
When I'm waiting to come on as a guest,
I can hear you.
You can hear everything. We're doing everything. We're talking this. We're talking that. We're putting bets in. We're doing shots. No, we're not doing shots. We do shots after the show. But no, it's hard. It's being a producer in radio is really hard, and I'm being very serious. I've been doing this a long time. I've had some brilliant producers. I've had some tough ones that it's hard. It's a hard job. And managing idiots like me that sometimes it's out of your control, and it sucks too because they don't get paid that much. they need to be paid more. I wish we should start like a producer GoFundMe for producers. But some of them are really good dropping sound effects.
The Diehards, weeknights from 8 to 10 Eastern on the Sports Map Radio Network.
This is Brent Musburger, and you're listening live to VSIN on Sports Map Radio.
This is VSIN Primetime with Tim Murray on VSIN, the Sports Betting Network.
Juice Reel is a free betting intelligence app and a tool that every bettor needs. Juice Reel links your betting accounts into one app, delivers in-depth analytics on your betting history, yet there is much more. At Juice Reel, you have access to the betting history of billions of bets placed by all Juice Reel users. This in-depth betting analytics with billions of data points enables you to tail the winning bets and fade the losing bets. Juice Reel also has developed an artificial intelligence bot using the data from all Juice Reel bets. Robo Jackson is picking winners at a rate of 60% through more than 100 games. Find out for yourself. Download Juice Reel. That's like orange juice and then Reel, R-E-E-L. It's free app in the Apple App Store, Google Play Store. Once again, it's free. Juice Reel, Juice, R-E-E-L. Alongside Mike Palm, I am Tim Murray. It is VSiN Primetime. We're presented by DraftKings, and always great on a Thursday, no matter who's playing on Thursday football, no matter who the quarterbacks may be. It's always great to get the insight from our good friend Brad Evans live on the line on many stations across this great country, and, of course, the Fade 5 podcast. Mr. Evans, we love having you on Thursdays because, let's be honest, Chargers and Raiders may not get the juices flowing all that much, but there's always props to be bet. So, Davante Adams, I know it's a situation, a little sickness popped up. So what are we looking at with Mr. Adams here tonight?
Oh, let's go ahead and break out a little friend straight away. I got a little sledgehammer special on Mr. Davante Adams. I bet the over on the alt line market of 69.5. Nice. Receiving yards, I actually play it up to like 75 or more and get that right out, plus money pretty much at any book that offers such alternative thresholds. He is going to be a focal point. I think he's going to be a centerpiece of this passing attack for the Las Vegas Raiders. The first matchup back in week 4, remember, Aiden O'Connell was under center in that game, and he was peppered with targets. At 13, caught 5 of them for 75 yards. Could be a similar output here. Given the matchup, going head-to-head against the secondary has been so woeful. Number 22 in pass EPA defense on the season. They've given up the 5th most wide receiver yards, and most importantly, mano-a-mano against Michael Davis, who has allowed a 65.2 catch percentage and 117.1 passer rating to his assignment. So, yeah, be my honey bee, Davante Adams. Get the 70 swing cash.
I want to ask you a question about your portfolio in this game, okay? So we've got Adams over yards, Quentin Johnson over yards, Eckler anytime touchdown, Renfro 3 or more receptions, Adams 5 or more receptions, Meyer 3 or 4 receptions. So positive offensive props you're taking, but under 3.5 touchdowns on the game. Are you counting on inefficient red zone play?
No, I am counting on inefficient red zone play, and I'm counting on these teams ultimately not splashing 6. This has got maybe 20 to 17 at best vibes to it. I think the kickers are very sound investments in the field goal market there on the over and the under 1.5, and of course I'm leaning over, especially on Daniel Carlson. You can get that right now at significant minus money, but not massive that, you got to stray away from it. I grab it at minus 130. But, yeah, look, a lot of those lines that you tossed out are alternate thresholds that are available, I think highly achievable. I don't think we're going to have a replication of what we saw last Thursday. We were like joking, hey, it's going to be like Iowa Hawkeyes football. And then a shootout broke out in the first half, and it ruined all my under wagers as a result. I think the under is going to click. I think it is going to fire. I think it is going to finish pretty soundly with that under, but hopefully those alternate thresholds do cash for your boy.
Talk once again to Brad Evans, of course, live on the line, his television program, and you can follow him on Twitter at Noisy Huevos. Let's circle back to that. So you played under total TDs. So if someone were to ask you, okay, total TDs is 3.5, the total is 35, you would swing more towards total TDs just because of Carlson's range. What's your thought process there?
Yeah, I mean, look, you could have like a bit of a surprise, a bit of a twist, and maybe these offenses move the ball fairly easily, into field goal range, and you run the risk of maybe multiple boots through the upright. So you're buying yourself a little cushion to avoid any kind of pushing. And of course, with Captain Hook as a part of that, there are the 3.5. I mean, there may be 3 TDs in this game. I just don't see 4. I'm hoping it's going to be, honestly, a 20-17 game. I will be entertained. I will be enthused to watch that over 3.5 hours. But if it's like another 3-0 slog like we saw last week in Vegas against the Vikes, I will kindly pass. I will change the channel, and I will put on Furman taking on Tulane instead, because there will be scoring in that game.
I want to go to a game on Saturday, the first game early, kick, 10 o'clock here in the Pacific time. Vikings at Bengals. We've seen this Vikings defense improve throughout the course of the year. They throw the shutout against the Raiders. They're defending the run. They're using the safeties and bringing them up into the run game and all these exotic blitz packages. But you do have Bengals running back Chase Brown, anytime touchdown plus 440, Brad.
Yeah, sexy. And look, there's a little bit of bias baked in here. I'm a diehard ILL Illinois fan, so I witnessed every single snap that Chase Brown took at the University of Illinois. Some people call it the Harvard of the Midwest here the last couple of seasons. And, you look at Chase Brown, man, he has got some scoot. He's got a lot of juice in those wheels. It's evident as you saw the long touchdown reception that he had a week ago, and he's working more of this offensive flow. He's played, or at least last week he played on 28.3% of the team snaps. I think it's going to be right around a third in this game. Still, the lion's share is going to go to Joe Mixon, but Minnesota is probably most susceptible to pass-catching running backs. They've given up 70 receptions to running back position. So, Jake Browning could check down. Maybe it's on a design screen or dump off on a flare route, something like that. And if you give Chase Brown an inch, he will take a mile. So at this significant juice, and I got seduced to buy that juice, guys, when I saw it north of 4-1 odds. I'll clack roll the dice and gamble on Brown to go into the end zone again like he did last week.
Brad Evans joining us here. So yesterday we were breaking down the Week 15 card, and Mr. Palm is quite intrigued by the Denver Broncos against the Detroit Lions. And looking at one of your plays, I think this would help out his bet. So Cortland Sutton plus money to find the end zone on Saturday night in the Motor City. Why so?
Why is this still plus money? I mean, the guy is like a modern-day version of Chris Carter. All he does is score touchdowns, and he has scored a TD in 10 of 13 games this year. In fact, he's done it in 7 of his last 8 contests, and still, the books are offering this at significant plus money, at plus 140. It's inexplicable to me. You look at Cortland Sutton, Detroit, very kind to opposing passing attacks, number 26 in pass EPA defense. They've given up the 3rd most wide receiver touchdowns this season, 15 to be exact. And you look at Sutton, he is the top 8, number 8 exactly, in total red zone targets at number 8. So whether it's on a long bomb, like we saw last week off the hand of Russell Wilson, or inside the 20-yard line, he's only got eyes, R-Dubs does, for Cortland Sutton. And I think they're going to connect for 6 again in a game with a tremendous amount of shootout appeal. So, yeah, plus 140. I'll hand over a briefcase of the books yet again on that prop.
Brad, 2 positive offensive same-game parlays for the Dallas Cowboys in Orchard Park this weekend. Dak 2+ passing touchdown, Dak 3+ rushing attempts, and CD 6+ receptions. That's plus 187. And Pollard 3+ receptions, Ferguson 4+ is 137. It seems like the world's on Buffalo in this game. Are you bullish on the Cowboys from a side standpoint?
No, because if you look at the next prop, the SGPs I listed there, I have the Bills on the money line. I think Buffalo is actually going to win this game straight up. I'm all about variety. It is the spice of life. It is kind of my game in the betting world, but I think the Cowboys are going to hang. I mean, the offense has been firing on all cylinders right now. Dak Prescott has been a touchdown scoring machine. That's why he's a front runner right now for the MVP trophy. But you look at some of the weaknesses of Buffalo. Look, they've had a lot of ills because of the roster turnover due to injuries and general ineptitude. So pass catching running backs have had a lot of success against them. So I like Tony Pollard in the receptions market. I think Dak is going to get to the end zone not once but twice with his arm yet again, because he's done that, I believe, in 5 straight games. Jake Ferguson has been a tour de force across the middle of the field. And I think they're, again, going to hang tough in this game. They're going to put numbers across the board up on the scoreboard. But ultimately, the Bills will prevail. And I'm hoping it's like 40-37. So all these overs, cash went free.
That works for me because I'm on the Bills. Brad, last week before we let you run, you told us North Dakota State. I'm going to give you 30 seconds now. Very light slate. What intrigues you right now? Because I know a couple of your bets have actually moved, specifically the total in St. Thomas Marquette.
Yeah, I did, and it's climbing big time. I grabbed it at 139.5 very early this morning, and now it's like in the mid-140s. That game should be a track meet. I think Marquette's going to put up at least 85 points in that one. I love the SGP on Furman, plus 9.5. I took the total down to 163.5 and slammed that over. I could be first to 99 wins if you like points. Again, don't watch Thursday night. Watch Furman instead.
Brad, always appreciate it. We will talk to you next week, sir.
Good luck, amigos!
There he is. Devontae Adams. Alt over is what the sledgehammer was today. Our plays of the night next.
At Simply Safe Home,
select major appliances. And with Lowe's Pay, you can buy now and pay later to get instant payment options for online purchases. Shop these savings because Lowe's knows deals every day. Valid through 12/13. Appliance savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for details. Subject to credit approval.
Did you know that driving under the influence of marijuana is illegal? And if you drive while you're high, law enforcement can definitely tell. If you feel different, you drive different. Drive high, get a DUI. Paid for by NHTSA.
You're going on a trip, but where are you going to stay? How much will it cost? Well, it'll cost less by booking on besthotelrates.com. Go to besthotelrates.com, enter your email address, and start shopping for your next hotel room. Besthotelrates.com, it's in the name.
Sports Map Tonight with Luke Morrow.
The Browns should sign me as their starting quarterback, and here's why. I know how to slide, and I know when to slide, and that was a huge issue. I still run a 4.340, people, and I can throw the football 80 yards.
All due respect, I don't know RG3. Seems like a nice guy. I think this is pretty pathetic. That's why anytime a quarterback gets injured, here he is making his Shark Tank pitch. Hello, Sharks. My name's Robert Griffin III. Here's why you should sign me to play quarterback for your team. I'm better than every quarterback you have. I can throw the football 80 yards. I can still run a 4.340. No, I haven't been in the league for 3 years, but you know what? I now know how to slide. Cleveland, I will lead you to your first Super Bowl. And Mark Cuban will be sitting there and saying, yeah, for all these reasons, I'm out.
Sports Map Tonight, weeknights from 10 to 1 Eastern. Imagine learning about radio and being mentored by true radio professionals in real radio stations. Well, actually, you don't have to imagine, because there's Radio Connection. Radio Connection gives you the opportunity to learn one-on-one and be mentored by radio pros. Plus, you don't have to worry about getting into a crazy amount of debt with school tuition either. Radio Connection keeps their tuition at much lower costs. To find out more info, visit radioconnection.com.
Wake up call.
LeBron James and the Lakers won the inaugural NBA in-season tournament.
Quick question. The celebration with the champagne and everything, was that a little too manufactured by the NBA?
At least this championship won't come with an asterisk.
It's like what I always say about kindergarten graduation. It's like we're throwing parties and big graduation has stepped in with all of its... It's really not that big of an achievement. No. But we're doing everything. We're having parties. We're throwing on hats. We're getting presents. Oh, little junior graduated from kindergarten. This is great. You got the graduation cake. You got the graduation banner. Did the NBA do that with, hey, we're going to have a locker room with champagne and pop it and spray around each other and have a good time, like act like you won the major thing. Yay! Right? Everybody, yay! And that's basically what they did.
Did anyone throw the ball up in the air when the final horn blew?
Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't quite see that one.
Wake Up Call with Tony V and Ron Culver. Weekdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern.
Wake up call! I didn't know this, but Tom Brady was drafted by the Expos in 1995.
Yep.
Fun fact, he was their last ever draft pick.
Wow! How cool is that? Forget 7 Super Bowl championships. That's how I would introduce myself if I was Tom Brady. I'd be like, I was actually the last ever draft pick by the Montreal Expos.
18th round.
That's pretty wild.
Wake Up Call with Tony V and Ron Culver. Weekdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern.
This is Brent Musburger, and you're listening live to VSiN on Sports Map Radio.
This is VSiN Primetime with Tim Murray on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
It is VSiN Prime Time, and folks, if you're looking for a betting edge this college bowl season, the VSiN experts have got you covered. Become a VSiN Pro subscriber with an introductory offer of only $9.99. VSiN Pro subscribers get access to our daily recap of the top plays made by VSiN show hosts and guests, tools like our betting splits that let you see where the money and bets are moving every game, and our college bowl betting guide where you can get picks for every bowl game. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Visit VSiN.com/subscribe today to sign up for only $9.99 and become part of the Sports Betting Network. That's VSIN.com/subscribe. Alongside Mike Palm, I am Tim Murray. We're live here in Las Vegas, Nevada at the Circa Sportsbook, the site, not Circa, but the city, of tonight's Thursday Night Football game. I can only imagine the excitement in Al Michaels' voice here this evening as he gets ready to call the Raiders and the Chargers, Aiden O'Connell versus Easton Stick. But that's the beauty. College, people complain. There are, believe it or not, Mike, there are people who complain about bowl games. I don't get it. It's television. It's football. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. It's Amazon tonight. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it.
Al Michaels will not be part of NBC's playoff coverage? That's
word on the street.
What?
It'll be Noah Eagle who is calling, because I guess they get two.
They have two?
Two. It'll be Tirico and then Eagle and Blackledge the college.
Todd Blackledge? They're not bringing Drew Brees back?
I don't think so. So that is your squad. That was the news in the broadcast world yesterday as Al Michaels, 79 years young. By the way, I do want to say, the who's who in town for obviously mainly Chargers, Raiders. And before going to that, they stopped by the Fountain Blue last night. So here's this picture. I was looking for Mike Palm in this picture there's the first roll at the Fountain Blue last night. For those of you watching with us, Justin Timberlake, a handsome fella whose head is sneaking over the top there, Thomas Brady, whatever happened to him. And then over in the corner there is Cher. Who else we got? Anka?
So Paul Anka's right next to Timberlake.
Looks pretty good.
The gentleman on the left of the dealer. So first, as you're looking around clockwise from the dealer, is Jeff Sulfur, the owner, who was celebrating his birthday. So, and then...
hey, what? Paul Anka, 82 years young. He looks pretty good.
A lot of stories, Scott. A lot of stories about the Red.
I missed that. That's no, right.
That's Dennis Rodman there? Is it? No, I don't know.
No,
it could be.
Jim Gray. Of course, Jim Gray's there. He's got the ins with Tom Brady. Jim Gray. Jim Gray there.
Do you know Jim Gray and Mitch Moss had an incident at one point?
I did not know that.
Yeah, there's a backstory there. So tune in to follow the money for the next year and a half, and you might hear it. You can catch it on demand, so you don't have to be up early every morning.
I broke my back. My back is broken. Fun night for Mike. I was not there. I had an enlightening evening of doing dishes and then going to bed and preparing for the Independence Bowl, which I will be headed to after going to the Knights game tomorrow night, which I'm looking very much forward to.
Fun with you and me and Femi and Pritch and Gil. And Amal will be there as well.
The crew together, some VSiN hosts taking in a Golden Knights game tomorrow night. Should be a lot of fun. And speaking of Femi, he'll join us in the next hour. We'll talk to Adam Hill from the Las Vegas Review-Journal here shortly, live from Allegiant Stadium. But let's get to some plays for tonight. We just recorded the first of 4 College Bowl previews for the VSiN college football betting guy, or college football betting podcast, excuse me. We went 3 wide, Adam Burke, myself, and Matt Humans, and a couple plays. I'm going against our guy Thor. I told him this yesterday. I took the points of Boise State, and I also took the under, Mike. So under 49, took the points of Boise State 4.5. Do I have concerns about the quarterback situation at Boise? Yeah, I do, because they are going to be starting a rookie, or a freshman who is taking his first snap, as Taylon Green is transferred to Arkansas, and Maddox Madison is out. But I do love the running back situation there, Ashton Genty and George Halani, and I think motivation is certainly on the side of Boise State to be in this bowl game. UCLA lost their defensive coordinator to USC. Carson Steele, their running back, has not been seen at practice yet, which is kind of interesting. So no official word on that, but it certainly seems like he is not going to play, more than likely. And Leatu Latu, the defensive player of the year in the Pac-12, has opted out for the NFL. So I took the 4.5. You guys are at 5, so it makes me nervous when a very sharp shot like Circa is continuing to go against me. But took the 4.5 with Boise, and then took under 49. So my 2 plays from the podcast earlier today here on the show.
The subtle, underrated move by you, bringing Burke in, obviously to replace all the content lost by Humans not being able to talk about the awards markets now that they've been settled. So good heads up there on your part. So Humans and I both liking the Broncos in that spot. A couple other games that I was intrigued by. I think New Mexico State, we talked about it a little bit. Yeah. I love the motivational angle there for New Mexico State. I probably will ultimately lay the 3.5, Mike, but I would love to got the open at 3, maybe a money line play at minus 165 or so. But my official plays for this weekend: UCLA, Boise, maybe a couple more tomorrow. But what are you looking at? You got some Thursday night football action for us. I'm going to take the Chargers. I think there's more upside on Stick than there is on O'Connell. I just couldn't believe how poorly he played in that game.
Awful.
I can't get over the interception on the last drive of the game, on the trying to force the ball on the very first pass of the drive, and they just did nothing there. No Jacobs, so there's no real threat of a running game. I'm convinced myself I'm going to take the 3, and if they lose by more than 3, so be it. And then I'll play one hockey game tonight. I'm going to take in Detroit, Carolina Hurricane, and the Detroit Red Wing returning home after their road trip. First period under 1.5. Ville Husso against Antiranta. That's plus 115 on that first period total.
Ooh, a little plus money. Yeah. A little first period under Hurricanes, Red Wings, plus the 3 for Mike. Tonight, Thursday night football, and for the LA Bowl for yours truly, Boise State plus the 4.5. If you have access to Circa, get that 5, and under 49 in the total for me on Boise and UCLA. Adam Hill live from Allegiant Stadium coming up here in just a little bit. Mike, as you guys have continued to grow in multiple states, Circa Sports that is, now in Illinois, Iowa, Colorado, and of course here in the state of Nevada, how much handle when it comes to a Thursday night game is prop related?
Depends on the matchup. A matchup like this will have a heavier prop percentage just because there's not a lot of interest in the side. So the people are going to try to find interesting ways to attack it at plus prices, because confidence level on these two teams are lower because of the uncertainty of all the injuries. Mm-hmm. Plus, we haven't seen Easton Stick start a game in the NFL yet. So it will lean more towards it. If you got a sexier matchup, depends. Generally, even though I would say the Cowboys-Seattle was a pretty sexy matchup, an offensive-minded matchup also leads, because people like to bet positive things.
Right.
They don't like to bet under 4.5 reception, right? No, they like to bet, will they not, you're not going to lay a price they're not going to score a touchdown. You want a plus price that they will. So since tonight doesn't look to be an offensive one, the reason the props will be higher is because of the uncertainty of the side and total.
So at Circa, I just looked it up because last week we talked about how at DraftKings the most popular play was the no first touchdown, and the Patriots, of course, go right down the field, touchdown. All those bets are dead. Not as low today. Circa Sports 36-1, still pretty low for no touchdown to be scored in this game.
DraftKings was 25-1 earlier this morning. That's an unthinkable price. I'm just saying most games are over 100-1, right? Well, 25-1 is really.
I can't remember what book, and I apologize for not giving it credit, but I saw Todd Dewey of the Las Vegas Review-Journal talk to one book over the weekend. They had a price of 100-1 on no touchdown for Vikings Raiders. Zero bets. Zero bets.
Well, who would assume that? It's the 8th 3-0 game in the history of the NFL. Bill, I learned that on Bill 80's Daily, which for some reason came out very late today.
Come on, Bill.
I don't know what Bill's now that he's in the front of camera person. We're slacking a little bit on the duties, so we got to focus. But I read that because it was interesting that how will a team react to being beat 3-0? Well, we've only seen it happen 7 times before.
By the way, if you're wondering, with the news that Josh Jacobs is out, which was reported about an hour and a half ago, courtesy of the NFL Network, at Circa, the favorite to score the game's first touchdown, Zamir White, plus 525, is now the favorite. Austin Eckler, plus 550 to score the game's first touchdown, and then Devontae Adams sits at 8-1. Everyone else is 10-1 or greater for the game's first touchdown, and we'll do that a little bit later on in the show. We hit one last week. We've hit 5 this year with the crew at 8 o'clock Eastern, so hopefully we can keep the momentum rolling there with the first touchdown bets. Easton Stick, if you're wondering, 18-1 to score the game's first touchdown.
Well, he was a running quarterback at North Dakota State. Maybe that's worth a look a little bit, although you would think that Eckler would be the first option when they're inside the 5.
I'm curious about Easton Stick and his rushing yards tonight. Over-under at Circa 21. Does the youngster get a little happy feet?
That's a little bit of a high number, isn't it, for an unknown commodity?
You got Max Crosby coming bearing down. You want to run fast. Well,
know that driving under the influence of marijuana is illegal? Driving high will get you a DUI. And if you're wondering if law enforcement can tell you're driving high, well, everyone else can. Friends?
I can tell you drove high.
Parents?
I can tell when you drive high.
Relatives?
I can tell. You drove here high, didn't you?
So what makes you think law enforcement can't?
I can tell.
If you feel different, you drive different. Drive high, get a DUI. Paid for by NHTSA.
You're going on a trip, but where are you going to stay? How much will it cost? Well, it'll cost less by booking on besthotelrates.com. BestHotelRates.com works with all the top hotels in the country while delivering you great hotel and room choices for the best prices. Why wait? Go to besthotelrates.com, enter your email address, and start shopping for your next hotel room. BestHotelRates.com. It's in the name. BestHotelRates.com.
Children are the greatest joy and our best hope for a better future. Friends, they are the future. But did you know that millions of kids right here in our own backyard are facing hunger every day? Without healthy food, it's harder to grow, to thrive, to feel their best.
The impact when children don't have enough to eat is tremendous because when you're hungry and your basic needs aren't being met, you cannot learn.
Every child deserves to be fed. This is a problem we know how to solve. Food is not just food. It's energy, health, confidence, hope, and even love. Yes, love.
Breakfast in the classroom contributes to kids being more focused, which leads to higher grades, and simply just their well-being.
Learn more about how No Kid Hungry is helping end child hunger in America at helpnokidhungry.org.
The diehards.
What's the deal with the beware of moose signs every 5 miles? I didn't see a moose.
The moose moved out long ago. They're like, this place is freezing cold. I don't like it.
There's no moose in Maine. It's a hyperbole. It's an exaggeration. There's no moose.
When I saw those bumper stickers, I thought it was a joke. Like, beware of moose. Like, imagine that. Imagine if you saw an animal living outside in this Arctic tundra. I thought it should be like, beware of penguins.
The Diehards, weeknights from 8 to 10 Eastern on the Sports Map Radio Network.
The Diehards.
Jeff, have you seen the commercial with Fitzmagic?
Yes.
The Switch? And the Thursday Night Football game is on. And it's Thursday Night Football, and it's awesome. You know what's cool about that video? When he flips the switch and they show all the teams and the highlights back and forth? It doesn't glitch. It like shows like, hey, it's an actual football game. It's cool, Prime. You're very good. But every time I put Prime on Thursday night, I get a delay, I get a glitch, it's not playing. Right now, my TV's not even connected to the internet with the routers 5 feet away from it. Like, the service stinks, but forget that. Now I can't even get the stream. Now I don't even have a connection. Freaking games. No, don't worry about it. I only have 2 dimes on it. Don't worry about it. Just freaking don't play it. Just tell me after. I friggin' hate this beyond word. But this sucks. It flat out sucks.
The Diehards, weeknights from 8 to 10 Eastern on the Sports Map Radio Network.
Children are the greatest joy and our best hope for a better future. Friends, they are the future. But did you know that millions of kids are facing hunger every day? Food is not just food. It's energy, health, confidence, hope, and even love. Yes, love.
Thank you!
Learn more about how No Kid Hungry is helping end child hunger in America at helpnokidhungry.org.
This is Brent Musburger, and you're listening live to VSIN on Sports Map Radio.
This is VSiN Primetime with Tim Murray on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
In the NBA, the game can change in an instant, but no matter how the action unfolds, you know DraftKings Sportsbook has your back. This week, new customers can score $150 instantly in bonus bets just for betting $5 on basketball. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use that code VSIN. The crown is yours. Alongside Mike Palm, I am Tim Murray. We're here in Las Vegas, Nevada, the Circus Sportsbook in downtown Vegas. Just, what would you say, a 20-minute drive from here, barring traffic, down to Allegiant Stadium, Thursday Night Football, maybe even a little less than that?
Yeah, it's less, 15
minutes down the highway. That's where our next guest is, Adam Hill, who covers the Las Vegas Raiders and a host of other things. A man who does it all for the Las Vegas Review-Journal joins us right now. Adam, we had our good friend Brad Evans on earlier this hour. His favorite play of the day is going over Devontae Adams' receiving yards. Before we get to that play, is he healthy? Is he ready to go? I know there was an illness that popped up on the injury report just yesterday.
Yeah, first of all, barring traffic, have you driven on the 15 lately?
I have, every day.
What is there not traffic?
I don't know.
This is crazy.
Just try to paint the picture for our national audience. It's not too far. You know, you want to make them feel like we're close. We're inside the arena or the stadium there.
Sure. Crazy talk. Yeah, look, Devontae, as we're talking right now, inactives are being announced, and I assume Devontae is going to be active. Last I had heard about an hour ago, he was trending certainly in the direction of being active for this game and being ready to play. But he is sick. He was not in the building yesterday. I know they told him to kind of stay away. When I was out at the facility, he was the only guy I didn't see in the locker room. I think he was, obviously trying to recover, but also you don't want to get anybody else sick. But he legitimately is sick. That is true. And so they're working on that. But yeah, he should be able to play. I don't know why. If I was the Raiders, I would shut everybody down that has any minor tweak or illness right now and not try to win a game. But Devontae is a gamer. He wants to be out there and he wants to play. And I expect him to go forward and do that. And he's about the only weapon they have. If you are betting the over, you have to take your shot that Aiden O'Connell is going to be able to get him the ball. And that's the biggest question.
Yeah, speaking of Aiden O'Connell, Adam, given his performance in the shutout loss last week, do you think the chances that we see Jimmy Garoppolo tonight are?
I don't know. I don't know what the point is. So if you're trying to win a game, first of all, you would have put Jimmy Garoppolo in last game. You saw that's what the Vikings did, right? They went to the veteran that was on the bench, and they went and got a field goal. Like they found a way to move the ball. So if you're trying to win, yeah, I think you'd see a pretty short hook on Aiden O'Connell. I think you'd probably see Jimmy Garoppolo starting the game. But I don't think that's the mentality of the Raiders right now. They're developing for the future. Obviously, the coaching staff wants to win. They've got Antonio Pierce kind of fighting for his job a little bit, but I think he was given a directive to play Aiden O'Connell when he took over, and that's what he's done. But I know there was some hesitation this week in naming who was going to be the starting quarterback. They hadn't really fully decided yet. They want to kind of work through some things, check out the tape, and see where they are. But I think if this game is going the way the last game did, I would be shocked if you didn't see Jimmy Garoppolo in there, just because you can't do that to the other players. It was such a horrific performance. You're not working on anything. You're not getting anything done. You're not developing anything. And you're not developing other players. And the fans were irate. I mean, it was about as strong a Raiders crowd as we've seen in a long time the last couple of weeks, and they were just booing relentlessly, as they should. I mean, that was an awful performance to watch, and I know Mark Davis was not happy watching it. So I assume there's been some conversations had, and you'll see a shorter hook for Aiden O'Connell today, but they're going to give him a chance. They're going to see if he can play. And look, I don't know how good the Chargers are going to be either, so I don't know that they're going to be that focused on shutting him down either.
We're talking to Adam Hill, who covers the Raiders for the Las Vegas Review-Journal, at Adam Hill, LVRJ on Twitter. So no Josh Jacobs, as you alluded to. Zamir White will get the role as RB1. So it's funny when you look at his prop tonight, it's over 61.5. He's rushed for 54 yards total this year. So what do we expect, or what should we expect, Adam, from Zamir White this evening?
Well, I'll first say this for people listening, and I know we're all bettors and we don't care about these things, but he is one of the best kids I've ever covered. I think if you haven't heard his story or seen much of him, like, he's a guy you want to kind of look up and like just root for a guy like that who's just a really good kid, small town kid. He goes back in the off season and works on his family farm. Like, he's just a hardworking, really, really, really nice kid. Who you kind of want to root for and you want to see him succeed, but it just hasn't happened. A lot of the reason it hasn't happened, though, is not because of talent. It's just there's no opportunity. Josh Jacobs wants the ball every single down. He doesn't want to come out of the game. He's such a such a warrior out on the field. Even when he's hurt, he wants to get the ball. So they haven't really been able to develop Zamir and give him the carries that he needs to really find himself because of Josh Jacobs being there. So I do expect Zamir to get a pretty big workload tonight. I think he's going to get that opportunity. And look, he's going to get enough carries to get to that prop. So if the line can move people at all, like, he'll be there. But if you are going to bet a rushing prop, keep in mind for the Raiders, starting center out, Andre James, starting left tackle, their best offensive lineman, Colton Miller, out as well. So two really key parts of the offensive line are not available. That is not good for the running game, and it's probably not going to help Zamir White get to that number.
Adam, let's switch over and talk about the Chargers a little bit. Easton Stick, unknown commodity because of his lack of playing time to this point, but came out of the football juggernaut Creighton Preparatory School in Omaha and parlayed it into 4 FCS national championships at North Dakota State, was a mobile quarterback in Division II. What is your gut telling you on how he's going to perform under the spotlight for the first time?
I expect him to run pretty well. I think he's going to put up some numbers with his legs. I think he's going to be able to get out of the pocket and run, and I think that's going to be an element that, Herbert can move a little, but I don't think he can move like Easton Stick can. And I think that's going to be one dimension that they're going to be able to take advantage of as the Chargers team, because the Raiders haven't seen a whole lot of that on film. They're aware of it. I know they talked about it, but you really haven't seen him on film. It's the guy who runs a 4.6 40 coming out of college. Like, he's athletic. And I think that's going to be an element that's going to press the Raiders' defense. That is something that they've struggled with at times, and especially in recent years, that they haven't been able to really shut down mobile quarterbacks. But look, this is a really, really good defense. I think that gets lost in the fact that this team isn't very good or isn't living up to expectations. Is that their defense is top 10. Their defense is kind of what the offense was supposed to be this year. And their offense is what the defense was supposed to be, but they've very much overperformed. Patrick Graham is doing wonders with his defense. Like, they're shutting people down. So it's not going to be easy for Easton Stick tonight, but I do expect him to be able to move the ball with his legs.
Yeah, that was an interesting prop we were just talking about. DraftKings has it at 18.5. It's juiced to the over at minus 130, and then Circa has it at 21. So as always, take a look around and see where you can find it if you want to play some overs on Easton Stick. Are you surprised that we've seen the total go up a little little bit. It was a low total to begin with, Adam, but it's at circa a 35.5, 35's out there. So we've seen a little bit of over money hit the market. Does that surprise you?
I mean, a little bit, but I might be biased by the fact that I haven't slept since having to watch that nightmare on Sunday.
Were you at the Fontainebleau last night with Mike too?
Yeah, I may have been. That was rough. So I'm still seeing that just over and over again. That just back and forth with nothing happening at all for 3 hours. So it'd be tough to me to bet a game over that involves this Raiders offense. So I'm not quite sure where that's coming from, except for I think you're at the level of, hey, these are two teams whose seasons are over. Two coaches who probably aren't going to be here next year. One is just interim coach anyway. Brandon Staley, I think we're sure, is getting fired as well. So I think it's just the blanket game where you blanket, just throw it out the window and just go and just play, and who cares? A little YOLO ball out there. So I think that might be what people are thinking, but I'm not betting this Raiders team over.
Adam, we got a minute left. I was blown away by the atmosphere for a college football game at Allegiant with BYU Notre Dame last year. You were at the Pac-12 title game, Washington and Oregon, a play-in game for the playoff. You've been at all the Raiders games. Compare the best Raiders atmosphere, maybe it was a game against the Chiefs or something, with what you saw last Friday night in the Pac-12 championship game.
Yeah, I would say it's like a Chiefs game is very similar in that.
Would you seat your 3-year-old child on a windowsill? Would you seat them beside a lit fireplace or by the deep end of a pool? One last question. Would you seat your child in a car seat that's not correct for them? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Secure their future. Seat them in the correct car seat. For more information, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The game is over, but this time, instead of asking how many goals did you score or what were your stats, try asking these questions. Were you a good teammate? Were you coachable? Did you give 100%? And did you have fun? Because those are the values that school sports instill in Ohio's young people, where winning and losing are secondary to the life lessons that will stay with kids long after their playing days are over. This is the Ohio High School Athletic Association. Educate through sports.
This is Everett Fitzhugh, the radio voice of the NHL Seattle Kraken, and when I want to catch up with Youngstown sports, I tune in to Western Reserve Radio, WRDB, The Scourge.
Or get into a crash. Things will never be the same. Getting a sober ride will change your world for the better. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more Straight Talk. Let's take a moment to appreciate our sweet children, loving grandparents, and eternal soulmates. Now let's use them to save money on wireless. Because with the Straight Talk Silver Plan, you get 4 lines for just $25 a month with unlimited data and no contracts. So add those human pawns, loved ones, and save money. Thanks, kids. You're finally worth it. Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart.
Get 4 lines on Silver Unlimited for $25 per line per month, plus taxes and fees. For data management practices and additional terms, visit straighttalk.com.
You're going on a trip, but where are you going to stay? How much will it cost? Well, it'll cost less by booking on besthotelrates.com. Go to besthotelrates.com, enter your email address, and start shopping for your next hotel room. Besthotelrates.com. It's in the name.
Wake up call. The verdict's out on Josh McDaniels, right? He should never be a head coach again in the NFL. 2 times he couldn't make it past year 2. Maybe he'll go crawling back to New England, but no more of this hiring Patriot people. Look, let's all admit this. Everybody got rich because Tom Brady was good at his job. Tom Brady was outstanding at playing quarterback, and he made a lot of people a lot of money because of it. Just by being in his presence, you were elevated in your skill and talent that you did not deserve. Anybody that touched Tom Brady's garments were elevated to positions of prominence in a league, and every one of them failed. Players who caught passes from Tom Brady disappeared once they left him. Coaches forgot how to coach once they left him. This is one of the biggest scams I've ever seen in sports.
Wake Up Call with Tony V and Ron Culver. Weekdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern.
Wake up call. You guys want to kick field goals on football game? Is that what the league is coming down to now? Do you know how many box scores I look at where I see a kicker kick 4 field goals in a game now? It happens all the time.
The offense seems to be able to move the ball in their first 50 pretty easily.
Exactly.
Once they get past the 50, everything gets stalled. But now you have kickers where it's like, oh, let's go for the 50-plus yard field goal. He's consistent.
At this rate, kickers are going to start making $20 million a year.
It's a kicker's league, Tony.
Wake Up Call with Tony V and Ron Culver. Weekdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern.
Sports Map Tonight with Luke Morrow.
Doc Rivers, quote-unquote, hired Dennis Rodman to come babysit his kids when they were both teammates in San Antonio in the mid-90s. What athlete would be the worst or best babysitter? Of all time, any sort. Like, obviously, I think you say Tim Tebow would be a great babysitter. But if I needed a babysitter in a pinch and I had to choose an athlete.
I'm with you on Tim Tebow for a great babysitter. I know probably who the worst would probably be.
Who would you say?
I'm definitely thinking Antonio Brown.
Absolutely.
I feel like Russ might be the most boring babysitter.
Oh, you know, that's another good one, too. Speaking of phony.
He'll come with all the cliches.
Yes, he would drive you nuts. He'd probably do a good job, like from the parents' perspective. He'll make sure the kids are okay. But yeah, the kids probably would not like him. They'd be, putting things in his shoes and stuff.
He'd be like the substitute teacher that nobody likes.
Exactly. They're throwing things at him when he turns around, sticking signs on his back.
Super responsible, though.
Oh, he'd be a great babysitter, but the kids just wouldn't like him.
Sports Map Tonight, weeknights from 10 to 1 Eastern.
Wake up call.
Duran, right?
Yep.
Can you find Duran at a local casino?
Probably.
You know what's amazing? These guys, at one point, they're playing in arenas, right? And then they're going to be like, come for the buffet, stay for Duran.
Show starts at 6.
Buffet begins at 5.
Wake Up Call with Tony V and Ron Culver. Weekdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern.
Hi, it's Mark Means, host of By All Means, Tuesdays at 5, right here on Western Reserve Radio, WRDB, The Scourge.
Progressive presents the Sports Flash on Western Reserve Radio. College football bowl action this Saturday. 9-3 Ohio battles 6-6 Georgia Southern in the Myrtle Beach Bowl. At the Cure Bowl in Orlando, it'll be Miami of Ohio 11-2 against 8-5 Appalachian State. Looking ahead to December the 29th at the Cotton Bowl Classic, number 7 Ohio State squares off with number 9 Missouri. The Cavaliers have dropped 2 in a row tonight. They visit the Celtics. Won't be an easy one. Boston, the best team in the league, 17-5 on top of the Eastern Conference. They're 11-0 at home this season. Winners in 2 straight and 7 of 10 overall. The Cavaliers are 13-11. NHL last night in the shootout, the Penguins beat the Canadiens 4-3. Down 3-1 after the first, the Pens scored twice in the second period. Sidney Crosby had 2 goals and an assist. Jansen Harkins scored in the 12th round of the shootout to win it. For lightning fast updates, download the Score app. It's free and one of North America's most popular sports apps. That's the Sports Flash. Chuck Sanders, Western Reserve Radio.
Thanks to Total Wine, you saved more on all the gifts for the ones you adore. Wines and beers all nestled on shelves. Got some advice from our helpful elves. Oh, so many gifts to explore when you go to Total Wine and more. Bottles so delightful, whoa. Priced so amazingly low.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine and More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
It's Macy's Great Gift Sale. Take an extra 20% off gift ideas from designers they'll love with your coupon or Macy's card. That's on top of great deals on women's sweaters, coats, and PJs, 25 to 50% off. Beauty essentials from Origins, Elizabeth Arden, and more, 25 to 40% off. And the season's hottest toys, 15 to 50% off. Plus, everyone gets $10 Macy's money for every $50 spent. Now at Macy's. Savings off sale and clearance prices, exclusions apply.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
The Mahoning Valley's leader for golf, Milk Creek Golf Course, is now booking tee times for 2024. We offer stay and play opportunities available with 9 area hotel partners. For more information, visit our website at millcreekmetroparks.org. Also, look for new, exciting opportunities coming soon, including an indoor player development center with Trackman, an indoor Callaway Club Fitting Center, and an Odyssey Fitting Studio in 2024. Follow us on Facebook at Milk Creek Golf Course or call 330-740-7112.
Western Reserve Radio is the Valley's online source for sports talk and local live events. Tune in and be a part of their live weekly shows, as well as all of the hard-hitting action of Youngstown Phantoms hockey, high school football, and the GDFL. Find them at westernreserveradio.com. Tune in and the Live 365 app to be a part of the area's sports conversation. Be sure to visit them on Facebook at Western Reserve Radio and on Twitter at WR_radio.
WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. Take 1.
Behold the angry giant.
Try it again, Alberto.
Behold the angry giant.
Perfect. Good luck tonight.
Behold the angry giant.
Yay! Read me another one, Dad.
This is WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all got to see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan. We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
How to find each other.
The whole experience was fine.
The most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
So why do teenagers play high school sports?
My reason why is a sense of purpose.
My reason why is to inspire others.
One reason student athletes seldom mention is to get an athletic scholarship. They know that only 2% of all high school athletes are awarded a sports scholarship. So why do they play?
My reason why is friendship.
Tell us your reason using the hashtag #MyReasonWhy.
This message presented by the NFHS and the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
This is Everett Fitzhugh, the radio voice of the NHL Seattle Kraken, and you're listening to the home of the Youngstown Phantoms, Western Reserve Radio.
Want it when you come on. So sharp report wise, what are we looking at so far for you guys down there at the Beau Rivage?
Yeah, so three picks on the Sharp report that have some substantial backing to them. They hit the Vikings +3, the Bears +3, and they hit Buffalo at -1.5. So, interesting slate this week. For the last couple of weeks prior to this past weekend, the favorites killed it. You kind of sensed that the dogs were going to make a move, and this past weekend was one of those. Now we got 10 or 11 games with a spread of under 5. So this is going to be an interesting week. It looks to be a tough betting week. It may be one of them weeks where you might want to try to parlay those margin of victories. I like to do that, a little 1 to 6. It should be a good weekend, a lot of good action.
Carl, I want to ask you about the one game that I've bet so far. Tonight I ended up taking the 3, but I took 4.5 yesterday with the Broncos on Saturday night in Detroit. I actually think the Broncos are going to win this game. I have a lot of questions about Detroit's defense. Really, the last 5 or 6 weeks, they've been in trouble. Goff turning the ball over, not playing efficiently. And Denver, all positive, won 6-7 and had a shot to win in Houston at the end as well. What are your thoughts on that game, and what have you seen on your side of the counter?
Yeah, look, I'm a huge Sean Payton fan. We loved him in New Orleans. And to be honest with you, I kind of feel like it'll take him a few years to get the players and stuff that he wants at Denver. But to me, they're progressing above the curve. But yeah, I mean, Detroit struggled a little bit. They get back home. We opened at 3.5. They're getting bet. They're at 4.5 right now, 47.5. Look, I'm going to kind of side with you on this one. I like the Denver Broncos. As a matter of fact, I like them on the money line just